Judges, competitors, go. Into the beat, go. A little bit louder. We want to make sure we hear you. Listen up. Here they go. They're rocking into it. Jack Perry from the Taranaki, Uranui on his board. The big strong fella here on the front stand. Here the Masterton lad, the top forward. Look at him. Settle down nicely. Sheep sitting lovely. He'll know all about the Masterton sheep. The man on number 2 from Napier. Caesar Wed. Up over the tail with some easy strokes. Wakefield from Napier on stand number 4. Rolling it up, Chrysler. Come on, Chrysler. You've been working hard. You've been pressing. You've been wool-handling. And now it's your turn at the shearing on stand number 5 from Masterton. And we've got Ashley Burns from Ekarahuna down on stand number 6. Great lineup here in the first heat, Gerald, by golly. They've got a job to do, though, because they've got to set the pace.
Yeah, that's something you've got to watch for, and you learn that as things go along, that the first heats can be a little bit fraction off the pace, and they get quicker and quicker as time goes along. But here we are, sheep number 1, just sort of shaking the nerves off. I've travelled a long way. I've thought about this day. I've spent and invested a lot of money getting here. I've been facing
they had
shows.
to bring the big fella in. They had to bring in the super heavyweight. The Kenworth of the pressing industry has come along. Where's the little Scania? Oh, he's going to go up in the air. It's the boys now. Sorry, fellas. We're having a bit of fun back
No, it's all good, Goro. How heavy is that bale supposed to be? 160. Holy smoke, that could be a 180 or 200 at this
260.
stage. 260. Meanwhile, talking about 2, Jack Perry's been in and out and he's on his second one. These are intermediate people, ladies and gentlemen. What are they allowed to do to qualify to be an intermediate? Well, they're allowed to shear up to 275 sheep in an 8-hour day. So this is it. They've got 2 more shots at the intermediate grade for a lot of these people. They've got the Golden Shears here, the pinnacle, and then probably a couple of shows as in Tikawiti after that. And then if they've went well and had a couple wins or made a few finals, they'll be up into the senior. So a fair bit at stake for some of them. As Abraham, she's had a busy day. Way she goes on the last shoulder there, and she's working that left hand, John. She's on the money side now on the journey home. And we're starting to get a bit of noise in the audience too. They're starting to realise there's a little bit at stake here.
Did you realise that half the whānau here from Masterton are all
Mean
Gordons?
Māori
They're
mean.
all Gordons. They're down there on barracking for stand number 5 for sure. But it's as you say, look across the board points up there. The time points are calculated at 3 points per minute. That's 1 per 22nd. The board points are the next column. They are the average number of second cuts the shearer is going to commit over those 4 sheep. And then, of course, the pen points. There's only one lot up there at the moment, a 1.8 average. Now, that's pretty sharp. And then, of course, the total at the end will give you the final score as we move on to the next heat. And then, of course, we roster them down as they compete. It's sort of a scrolling roll that shows you who's out in front and who's not. So they've got one shot to make it happen here for them this afternoon, because if you don't give it their best shot now, you don't go any further. Pressure on. Pretty close field. Looking pretty good. Wed pretty sharp there on the stand number 3, but it could be Jack Perry from Uranui just leading the way. Very close indeed. Forward from Masterton right there as well. Chrysler Gordon, she's up over the top. Moving along nicely. Sheep number 3 out for the rest of the shearers now. Chrysler, a little bit of work to do in front of her, Gerald.
Yeah, that Webb, he threw out a little beauty, that second one. Just see how pink that was. It was a beauty. He's got the speed with him at this stage, but you can tell from sitting here with a bit of a trained eye, as a judge's eye would have, and now on the microphone, you still get a very good idea from here. But meanwhile, they're making it look nice and easy, but I tell you what, there's going to be a stack of nerves up there. As Webb fires one to the base of the ear, he's got a good hold of it. The sheep's playing this game, and he flicks up and round the back there. Starting to head towards the long blow now. Bit of jiggling, thinking, oh, let's get the focus onto someone else. Long blow time already for Perry. Away he goes. All of these shearers, of course, under the watchful eye of these judges on the board. And they are watching. You take note of the judges. What are they doing? They're shuffling along. Okay, they do a full circuit. The judge will go down the right-hand side, come right back round, up these steps and start again. We keep it as even as we possibly can, and they've judging days and all these sorts of things. You can't get one past the eagle eye of these judges, so you've got to have it dead right. And Perry is the man of the moment, but Ford's coming at him. Am I missing any? Start making some noise and say, don't forget about Mr. Wakefield. Oh yes, we'll start doing a bit of commentary now because we're starting to get a bit of action going. These intermediate shearers, they can handle a bit of hype, a bit of colour TV. Abraham, it's a nice pink one. Get into it. Get into it, Abraham. In goes Perry. In goes Ford. The final last one arrives in these heats. But they won't be treating this like a heat, like a standard show, I can tell you that. A heat at the Golden Shears is like a semi-final, John. As you're saying, you can't bring your B plan here.
No, she's all go into the pen for Burns down the far end. So what have we got? Time gone, 5 minutes and 50 seconds. You notice a little bit of blue mark on that sheep's leg. Well, it could have been a bit of bruising previously, so if there's any skin marks there that the shearer gets a fair crack when the referee outside has a look at it. Around the back of the head the shearer goes now. Wed from Napier. I think he might be controlling the field at the moment. Moving his sheep with every blow. The most difficult part of the sheep coming up right about now, that front shoulder. You need an elbow, you need a wrist, you need another hand and an arm because you use all those extremities. Even the knee comes into place as he's got his moccasin sitting right under the shoulder of that sheep. He'll have his toes turned in hard right about now because he wants the inside of his knees to be rigid and bony to hold that sheep up when he brings it back up over for the last side. Coming across that last shoulder. Big reach is coming up. He'll go under the shoulder and he'll just pull his leg out and now slides his sheep forever just slowly back, edging his sheep millimetres at a time. Pace coming on a little bit from the Masterton man on stand number 2. Looking pretty good. Jack Perry, though, hits the button. What's he go out in at 7 minutes and 2 seconds for Jack? He held his pace a little bit there, but wed out the last side. Forwards finished the job as well. There, reaching for the button is Wakefield. And Christopher Abraham's working away. She's still got a bit of time left. She's got one left in the pen, I believe. Under the shoulder come Ashley Burns. Nothing much between these guys at the moment as far as time goes. Calculating those time points at 3 points per minute. Working away, Crushler. Come on, you'll be getting the hard word to get your act together shortly. I know you've been here all day. Working away in the Woolhandling and in the pressing. You'll be going for the old minties straight after this to get your breath back. I can see that. Down the porthole it goes and get in and get that last one. Oh, it's a lonely job, but somebody's got to do it, Gerald.
Yes, you're right. Someone's got to do it. It's like a single stand world record, isn't it? You're just there on your own, and as a mark of respect, of course, all the shearers will remain on the board at their stands. While Kushter gets into the belly ball of this one. She's had a busy time here today. She'll be lapping this up. She's loving this. Out the back goes the belly wall. Let's just give her a wee break for a wee minute. Let's talk about some of the other stuff that's going on. Who are the sponsors of this event? Trust House Community. Okay, so they're giving all the money here to these intermediates, your local trust house round here. So that's very good. So thank you there. And the sheep kindly supplied by Donald McRae. So thank you very much, Donald McRae, and your troops out there for supplying these sheep. They look at that little beauty there that Kushner's got right now. It's beautifully shearing sheep, nice and open in around the face, around those points. The loose wool makes it easier to shear. It's sort of open, and of course we've had a lot of hot weather and hot today, so that makes the wool become sort of not tight and clammy but open and loose, which then you can get into them. The gear enters better, and things just run a wee bit better. That stuff called lanolin in the wool becomes a wee bit softer, and yeah, she could just get it going as now Kushler hits the long blow, throws the leg over and locks it up. The pressers are getting ready for another heat in a minute, just getting all the wool back out. The wool's been going round and round in a circle. It's getting awfully dizzy. It's been in a fadge, out of a fadge, in a fadge, out of a fadge all morning. There's Kushla. She's doing the last little pieces. She's not taking any shortcuts. She's staying focused, staying in the zone, in that place. Let's do it correctly. There we go. A mark of respect to the sheep supplied.
She's still smiling, and that's what it's all about. Another day tomorrow.
You can see how hot it must be, John. Look at the sweat these ladies and guys have worked up doing those 4 sheep. Well, you and me are getting hot just sitting here, and we're just doing a bit of chatting.
Yeah, well, these cranky old judges, they even get a bit steamed up there too. Fogs their glasses.
True.
Hey, we're damned without them. We're damned with them.
Yeah.
Okay, come on, Shearers, take the board. Your name's up there. We want you on the board, ready to go.
You could have something special happening here later on. You could have the youngest, maybe a youngest winner ever at the Golden Shears. We've got the young fella Elias just made it through to the novice final at 10 years old. So we won't do any added pressure at the moment. In between times, we've got some locals up here once again on stand 1, Masterton boy.
Okay, come on, guys. Let's have you. Stay on the board. There's nothing wrong with those sheep. We've got a green light. Shearers on the board. Thank you. Okay. Timekeepers are good. Judges. Competitors, go. We're off this time. We're moving again. Heat number 2. Ooh, what was the time on that first one? 7 odd minutes for 4 sheep. Pretty casual approach there from Turuhuya Edwards from Tamarunui. He thought, righto, mate. I'm just going to go in nice and slow into these sheep and then shear them hard and fast once I get them out and on the board. Here we go, Chris Sandel from Masterton. Rocking down the first off leg. Oh, the pace is coming on from Mart Fwata. Up over the top now, look. Beautiful style, relaxed, experienced. Hemi Lambert on stand number 3. Right on the heels of him is our Japanese man. He's been around for a haircut or 2 in New Zealand now. Sean Ossie had a go at the pressing earlier on. He loves being involved in shearing competitions. Uru Edwards up the neck and round the offside of the cheek. Dylan Lewis down into that most difficult part of the sheep on stand number 6, where the arms and the legs and the knees and the toes all need to be aligned. Into the long blow he goes. At the pace in the middle of the field from Hemi Lambert at the moment, just trailing Mark Watter here from Masterton, the local man with the silver fox look coming across the top. Cagey is an old fox. Look at him rolling across that shoulder blade. Very short blows, deliberate under the shoulder and down and out to the flank. Keeping it nice and cool, calm and collected. And what have we got? 1 minute and 35 seconds gone. They will pick the pace up as they move along on these sheep. 285 sheep. They've got their tally can't be any more than that in an 8-hour day, which is quite a feat. And even in these days on big strong sheep like you have here at Masterton, they make you work for every centimetre you get the wool off. Sit still, darling, I only want your clothes, you're going to say to them, and then get it down the porthole, because the old cash register might go ching again at the end of the day.
Yeah, the money side, that's what it all comes down to, all right, in the finish. Sure, it's a sport, but it's also your job during the day. It's what pays the bills. Oh, he just got myself distracted because he just roared in there. I thought he was going to jump over the catching pen door. Pulls out number 2, and he goes all the way from Japan into the belly wall. Oh, it's a little beauty. These sheep are just sensationally drafted and sensationally presented. You cannot get any better. And hey, look, I can sit here and look you in the eye. I've been floating around shows for 20 odd years, and look how even they are. It's an absolute credit to all the suppliers and all the people that draft these sheep up. Round the back of the head goes Wata from Masterton. Starts to line up the long blow. Up the neck goes Sandal. Edwards down on stand 5. Got the headband on. Last time I saw a man up there looking as colourful as that was the late Ricky Pivac. He was one that would go up there all guns blazing and colour TV sort of stuff. He'd have the handkerchief tied round his head and then bore into it. He had wool flying all over the place. Real showmanship. But that's how it rolls. But it also does actually serve its purpose. It keeps the sweat out of your eyes. That salty sweat can get a bit irritating depending on the sort of the shape of your face. Sometimes it will start running in your eyes, and you'll see it in the shearing sheds where they'll wear headbands. Okay, and it's not actually for show. It's actually to keep the sweat out because it's just pouring off you. You are what you call giving yourself the whip or caning yourself, meaning you're giving it everything you got and you just haven't got time to keep the sweat off your face because it's coming out of your body so quickly. Down on the bottom stand, Dylan, all the way from Wales. Now, last year we lost a couple bits of our silverware to the Welshmen. Okay, they took a couple of trophies home in the shearing events here. And this year we've already lost one, a novice wool handler from Scotland. Okay, so these we've sort of taught them a few tricks of how to get these sheep shorn and how to get the wool prepared correctly and properly and quickly and all these sorts of things. So don't underestimate any of these international flavoured shearers and wool handlers. Anything can happen. It's good to have them here, and a very, very big and warm welcome on behalf of the committee to you all who have travelled a long way to be here. But in the moment, it's back to the board and back into it. Water, top knots off. Sandal on sheep 3 and chasing him hard. Who's holding the front? Well, it's down to the man I was talking about, the Welsh boy, and then the local here on stand 2, John. I'm surprised we're not hearing any noise yet. People just warming into the Golden Shears this year.
Yeah, well, they're very, very quiet and reserved at this stage of the game. I know we've got 3 days or 2 days to go, but you've got to back your favourite, and he should be getting a bit of encouragement now because he's shearing along pretty smartly. These sheep are coming out in fine fettle. Look at the inky, pinky skin. They're taking every strip of wool off them, these fellas. Down the first off leg now comes Lambert from Wairarapa. But it's still the Welshman. I think he might be in control down the far end. Maybe Masterton on stand number 2. Masterton on ones in the long blow. Come on, a little bit of noise from the local crowd. Shunoshi from Japan. Down the first off, off front shoulder. Moving it, sheep clears off the back of the top knot now and moves towards that difficult part I talked about before. He's got his knees working, his toes, his wrists, his fingers. Guides it in towards the floor, keeping that sheep nice and high off the floor so that won't struggle, and he's doing it pretty well. Out comes another one on stand number 6. Out for another one on stand number 2. Sheep number 4. Sheep number 4 at about 3 blows for Chris Sandal from Masterton. Ooh, a little bit of a wriggle there as he tries to get that last leg off. Hard work coming on there for the Wairarapa man across the shoulder. It'll be sweaty up there, all right. The wool handlers just saying, I'll wipe your brow, bro. You just keep going hard as they come across the last side on stands 2 and stands 3 and 4. Over the last side now comes Edwards from Tamaranui. Is he going to let the brakes off on his last one? He'd need to start stretching it a little bit now because sheep number 4 is on stand 2, stands 1, 2 and 6. Look at him go. First off leg. Coming off here on stand number 1 from Masterton, Chris Sandal. Mark Water here on stand number 2. Into the long blow he goes. Long blow down there for the Welshman. He's got the dragon on his shoulder. Scooping it up, pushing it hard. Fourth and final sheep on for everybody, just as Hura Edmonds bring another one onto the board.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Your local man, he's won it. Give him a round of applause. Oh, you can't just treat this like a heat where you're warming up. It's got to be like a semi-final at least, and Lewis is wrapped up all the way from Wales. He's in for the red button. He's done that a few times here and there as well around other shows. Edwards coming up the tail end, a huge, big, relaxed sort of style there. To just see that, he's making me slow down myself watching him. Up the neck he goes, filling that comb right up. Lots of different styles of getting this.
Ready? Good afternoon or good morning in the other side of the world over in a little town called Biggar in Scotland. Claire Wilson is the winner of our first lot of Golden Shears finals, and Claire's got a red ribbon somewhere, and you better go and fetch it for us, Claire, because we'd like to see the red ribbon. This afternoon we're in a steamy, very, very warm place here in Masterton. It's 30 odd degrees, so just flash that little wee winners. That's the Golden Shears Novice Woolhandling Champion for the year 2015. You got it upside down.
Have I? Oh, I do.
She's a little bit nervous, so that's okay. And this young girl is the Wool Systems is a new trainer in New Zealand for shearing and wool handling. So Claire, at this time, just tell us, hopefully your family are on the other side of the world, 12,000 miles away, they've tuned in and seen you.
Yeah.
How are you feeling at this time?
I don't know, I can't quite believe I've even won it, but happy.
She's very happy, and Golden Shears is it's the greatest shearing and wool handling show in the world, and this is only day one.
Yeah.
It's only going to get better, and I'm very sorry about the heat. It's 30 degrees outside. But, have you got anybody to thank anywhere?
I don't know.
Your mum and your dad?
My mum, my dad,
family.
Leanne Bertram as well for getting me involved and wanting to do shows and
Your
stuff.
boyfriend or your girlfriend or things like that. This is the World Wide Web.
Thanks for everyone at Scale to get here, and my brother as well for pushing to come over here and work, and my gran and grandpa as well for getting us involved and all, yeah.
Well, the highlight for Claire was having a Minister of the Crown, an MP, Honourable Nathan Guy, and he's the Minister in charge of Agriculture, and he presented you with your ribbon this afternoon, so that's another coup. And of course you can download these off the internet and see them anytime. Claire, it's so hot in here, you're sweating. Girls are not supposed to sweat, but it is making us sweat. So once again, thank you very much, and we'll go back to Toby. Thank you.
Yeah.
So once again, just make sure you're got the right footwear and your singlets are tucked in, and the lights.
Okay, we've got a green light, gentlemen. Let's get it started. Get the all clear from the referee. He's happy. Okay. Righto, guys, ready to go. Shearers on the board. You've been yapping down there, Selwyn. Don't hold that shearer up. Okay, we'll let it go. Timekeeper's good. Judges, competitors, go. That's how we go. We just like to keep it moving along. The day is not getting any longer. There are other things to do at the end of this intermediate shearing competition, like the novice final, the novice shearing final. And then, of course, we've got to clear the stadium so they can get ready for the speed shear tonight. And that'll be exciting, Gerald. It's, as I say, that it sounds like the lambs are all doctored up and they're going to be just races.
yeah, there's a few tricks in the old speed shears, all right. Become very famous over the last few years from all corners of New Zealand, in and around pubs and the likes. But they're really, really good days out, and the boys let loose and they really hook into them. And there'll be a lot of, lights and glamour and all those sorts of things happening here tonight. So the guns will be out and about as well. I presume there'll be two grades, but there will be the premier, the open grade, where the best shearers and the quickest shearers from around the world will be here to compete. So worth paying a few bucks to get in and watch it. It'll be a good blast. Meanwhile, that's where these guys are hoping to get to one day. This is where it starts. If you've been here for the day, look, as some of us, the novice shearers, they start there, then they get to the junior level, now they're getting into the intermediate level. Most of these intermediate shearers will be full-time shearers. This is what they do for a living. When they go to work, they take a towel, okay, not to wash their hands, to wash the sweat or wipe the sweat off their head every day. So it's a hard yakka job, a very honest dollar. You only get paid what you do for the day. You get paid when you put the sheep, a cleanly shorn sheep, down the porthole. Hence, that's why we call it the money side, okay? Like the man in the middle, Mr. Guy, who's doing the finishing touches, which is commonly known as the money side. He will get paid now, okay? That's when he gets paid. He only gets paid when he's working. That's why they have to do the old story of make hay while the sun shines, okay? So when the sheep are dry, you get in there and you get them shorn, because you might have a wet week or the sheep might dry up or whatever it might be as in numbers. So when it's on, you go for it. You may do 10, 15, 20 days straight. And so that's what these boys are into. But hey, there's huge amount of pluses. You get to travel all around the world just with a handpiece in your backpack. Great times. Guy takes the top knot off. He's still rabbit of the field at this stage. Who's down the bottom there? Carlton Naranui's down there. Couldn't quite see his name. He's off with the top knot. A big, strong man. He's got some power in that body of his. Brushes the old cheek wool clear and straight into the base of the ear. Now starting to get it organised in and round. You've got to make sure that head's really clean, John, because I don't know why, but it stands out outside when the judges look at that sheep. The old anything happening around that head that's not right, it just seems to magnify itself.
First thing the farmer looks at it when he sees a mob going out is the head's bobbing up and down. If they got a tassel or two on them around the ears, he's back in the shed pretty smartly and says, let's tidy him up, lads. Don't mind a bit of wool left on the body, because that might help keep them warm on a cold winter's night. But here in the middle of summer, Masterton, you can get every blade off them. They're going to survive. Up around the back of the head comes the Waimati. Gerard Morgan and Corey White. Corey had a bit of a handpiece trouble. He didn't like the feel of that on that first one, so he put a new blade on. He's on stand number 2. From Helcombe, we go Stewie Fraser. Into the long blow, full of concentration. Just look at it. Fast guy, Marshall Guy from up in the far north, the Kyo family. Guy crikey, good to see these young fellas back in action again. Kyle Gilmore from Martinborough. Down on 5, coming across the shoulder now. Moving his sheep with every blow of the handpiece he puts in. If you leave that sheep sitting in one spot too long, it'll find a bone and it said, I will not like it, I will not like it, and will kick the hell out of you. Down there is Carlton Aranui. Pulls one out. He's from Raupunga there, and he's down the belly on sheep number 3. Second to get sheep number 3 on the board, because the pace is still in the middle of the field with the man from Kyo. Big, strong Jared Morden says, come on, baby, give me your clothes. I want to let you down the porthole and put you on the street, over the shoulder. Down and out to the flank, he's about to come. He's following his Waimati mate, Corey White, there on the stand number 2. There goes Stewie Fraser as well. Into the pen, no panic, but quickly. In they go. Pressure on now, down on stand number 5. Kyle Gilmore, down the belly he goes, just a little bit off the pace. The pace right there in the middle of the field on stand number 4. This young slip of a man, look at him. Lean, mean machine from up in the far north, across the shoulder. Beautiful style, loving it at the moment. Let's hope I don't put the hoodoo on him as he comes down that last side, and he's keeping it all together there and making the most of it, Gerald.
He is making the most of it. That is a beautiful style he's there. He's got his handpiece sort of tucked, or his hand tucked right up against the tension knob of the handpiece. Got very good control of it, and that's a must when you're dealing with good strong ewes like this in second shear, when you do have to drive it to a certain extent. You got to push it off, okay? It's not like a Lambo where it sort of can fall off as you're pushing the handpiece slightly. So he's got a good grip on it, and into the belly will he dives of number 4. So going very well, and I do like the style. Look at the wingspan on the man. Huge arms, and he's using them. He's hardly moving his body, conserving that energy, which will serve him well when you've got to do this day in and day out for a living. 1, 2 big shots up the undermine. Anyway, let's shift our attention. Come down the front here. Morgan. Round he goes. He's a big, strong, strapping lad too. Right tight and in amongst this second shear U here, or second shear two tooth, lies it down now. 1, 2, you do those two little short ones. That's when you can start throwing those big shots in. Even in a show situation, there's not a lot of corners and bumps when you hit the long blow. So you pull your comb right up and you just push it as hard and fast as you can. And all you got to do from there is make sure you got it well positioned. Down into the last shoulder. It's a whole lot different here on stand one now though, because what you've got to do is you've got all these corners. So it's a different story. Bit of a catch there up the neck for a white, unfortunately, in the second stand. He won't be impressed with that. He wasn't planning that in his visualisation, I can tell you that. Working the left hand now though. One left standing in the pen for these front stands. What's happening? 3's there. There's a 4 there. This will be the last one for Marshall, won't it? Can't quite see, but he'll be on sheep number 4. He'll be going in for the time clock now. He's getting live streamed all around the world. He'll be pleased about that. Bit of show pony stuff. Puts out another little pink one. Gets a round of applause, and he deserves it as well. Aranui throws a leg over, misses the shot. Goes again. Onto the long blow. He drifts. Up the neck goes Gilmore. Very tactical sort of shots this Gilmore does, doesn't he? You can see he's planning every shot with great detail as he still pivots round. The shearing 4, ladies and gentlemen, so time is important, sure it is, but the job is still very, very important too. And there is 3 facets. There is the on the board, okay, these are the blue shirts up here judging them right now. Then there is out the back, and then there is the time points, and they all get accumulated together. And they're itemised actually on the sheet so they can see where they went wrong or where they went well. And then that is the top, whatever it might be, semi-final and eventually down to the finals. So all good, John, and lots of great shearers have converged on Masterton once again this year, as you would, to have a go at getting on the top podium spot and take home some accolades and medals and the likes.
Well, that's just been doing it now since 1961, the first year. Rushing on down here to Masterton, not quite with so many big numbers as we did in the past, but hey, 40 years later, I'm still coming back from way back when I first started coming down here, so I'm enjoying it, and I'm sure these competitors are doing likewise as we rock on across the last shoulder. Here we got Jared Morgan from Waimate and Koru White from Waimate as well. And down we got Stewie Fraser rocking out that last side. Sheep just pulls up that leg a little bit. Out the last side now. Very, very close indeed, these 3 fellas. Just a couple of blows between them as they take off the back sock. One over the hock and down the chute. Hit the button. That's the story, and that's the end of heat number 3. Come on, heat number 4. Shearer, stand number 5. Thank you. Just waiting on the red light. The referee's giving me the all clear. Shearers on the board, please. We have a green. Okay. Timekeepers right. Judges, Competitors, go! In they go, almost halfway through this job here, the intermediate shearing heat sponsored by Trust House. Oh, we got the man from Vive la France, Pierre Granger. And we got more international flavour here on stand number 2. We got the Welshman, Pugh, Larry Fleming from Tikaraka. On stand number 3, Tumanako Waikari from Masterton on stand number 4. On 5, we have Tawera Brown from Martinborough. And down on the far end, Johnny Burkholt from Wanganui. A few of these names are starting to come up across the screens again from years ago when we got this next generation filtering through the shearing industry. It's in your blood, and it stays in your blood. No matter whether you were born a dairy farmer or come out of the town, once you've been a shearer, you get the grease in your paws, your skin, and it'll stay there, Gerald, until you leave this land.
Yeah, it's very true, John. You got one sitting beside you for business reasons. I'm not a sheep farmer anymore, but the shearing, I shore myself into a farm, and you just can't get it out of your body and your mind. It's just, just a love, it's a passion.
You actually told a bit of a fib before. You said you'd only be going to shearing for 20 years. Now, that's not true. You've been longer in the game than that.
I've been going to shearing. Well, I'm 47. I suppose I started shearing sheep when I left school at 17. Sure, for a while there.
That sounds a little bit better.
Yeah. A big long back like mine didn't actually serve me too well when it come to bending over all day. So I had to give that a bit of a break and head into farming and the likes. But come to the crunch of the story. Oh, you can't get that out of your blood. In our case, family thing. My brother still runs a big shearing and contract business down home. My father was shore his way into land. We shore our way into land. So it's all good, and it's served us well. Got us around the world. I done about 6 years in a row where I just shore all summer here and a summer in the UK, summer here, summer in the UK. So clocked up a heap of year points. You can't get that out of your blood. It just becomes part of you, and you don't even know why it's there. It's just an innate sort of thing that is inside you. Come back to the board though, Mr. Brown. Now, Mr. Brown, I love seeing these locals that turn up to these shows and support the local shows. He was having a shear here last year as well. I remember that vividly. Fleming, up the neck he goes. It's another little beauty, isn't it? Wow. They're just beautiful shearing. Fires that shot in there just to tidy up that little corner, up and over the head. He knows to keep that head nice and clean. Make sure the ears are right. The wool handler just gets that little bit of eye wig wool. She says, hey, that won't belong in the main line. We'll get that out of the way. And on the main line, or on one of the big main blows of the sheep, is Pugh all the way from Wales, firing in and around. Look at those little shots. You can do them in shows, ladies and gentlemen. You just put that extra little bit of care, extra little bit of time, and to make sure you get every little speck of wool off. And there's lots of little corners. Have a look at stand 2 here. Up and under the leg, there's all those little corners. Does a little bit of plucking with the left hand. You can do that as long as your time's still running. And out to the toenail he goes. She's all good, John.
Oh, it's all good, all right. On your Prue out the last leg. Oh, the Welshman, he didn't expect that little bit of a kick, and she's rock and rolled him and put a little bit of pressure on. It means the other fellas can catch up a little bit. Down there on stand number 6, Johnny Burkholt from up in the Wanganui. Out with number 3 for On Your Prue.
Do that as long
Here
as
he
your
goes
time's still
down
running.
the belly. Granger from France, right there as well. Fleming from Tikaraka. Hey, that name's been associated with shearing over there in the eastern country for a while now. And look at him go down the belly. Loves of it. You can see his father in this boy as he comes down the first off leg. Rolling big long arms. Great style, relaxed. Up over the top, shearing the big Gisborne sheep. Oh, out comes Towder Brown. Come on, man. Stroke it off. Sheep number 3, they're all on the board. Who's going to lead the way? Looks like it could be in the middle of the field, is it? Down there we got Waikari out at the last leg. He moving, sheep very small in stature, but by crikey, he's thick through the shoulders there. Look at him, the power of the young man. Down the ball roll, and he'll scoot in the pen for sheep number 4. Close on his heels, it could be down on stand number 6. Johnny Burkholt over the shoulder. Moving that left hand, that does all the work. The right hand only holds onto that handpiece, the 13-tooth comb and the 4-prong cutter. And it shimmers across each other, cuts the wool fibre. You cut it once, that's what the judges up there want. That's what we all want, to give us the ultimate product. Come and see Alan Precious. He's got the draw. Here they go, over the shoulder on the last side, stand 5, sheep number 3. Still got 1 in the pen, but the rest of them have got 4 on the board. But it's Tumanaka Waikari from Masterton. Not even a whisper from the mice of Masterton. Come on, you're not supporting your locals here too well. Coming across the shoulder, he's out in front, and he's hanging in a pretty good scorecard too at the moment. Coming across the shoulder, 6 minutes and 29 seconds gone. This could be one of the fastest heats, Gerald, as he rocks down that last side.
Yeah, it can be normal sort of pattern really, isn't it, where the heats get quicker and quicker. Why it does that, I've never fathomed out over the years, but it just seems to, whether it be quarterfinals or heats, they just seem to get quicker and quicker, so you can never ever take it for granted when you're in those early heats. You just got to step it up, take charge of it, and get the job done. So if you're just, going to fill in the gaps and then get it done, they will get quicker from there on in, and that's exactly what's happening right here. So one man already in for the stopwatch and wrapped it up, and they're all got the last and final one on the board now. Burwalk down on the 6th stand down there, out that last sort of shoulder, lining up the money side, out to the toenails he goes. The cheek wool's off for Fleming, cheek wool gone for Few. The man all the way from France, Pierre Granger, he says, I've shone at the Golden Shears in the heats. He'll be rapt about that. He'll go home and tell his mates all about that. What'd you do over the way there? Did you shear a few sheep and get that done? I tell you what I did. I actually travelled, I rented a car, and I travelled all the way to Masterton, and I shore at the Golden Shears. And hopefully make the semis and the likes. Fleming pulls that one up, does the finishing touches there. And the big strong man down on stand 5, Brown, with the finishing touches as well. Look at the strength of this guy. Folds that leg up nice and tight, real merino style, that wrinkly, what you'd call wrinkly sheep. They do that to pull the skin really tight, because that skin on the wrinklies is nice and loose. But that's the style he's got. He's got that implanted in his brain. That's how he does that last shoulder, whether it be a crossbred or a fine breed or a wrinkly. Give them a round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. It's another heat. Been there and done that.
There are all those novice shearers down here with Alan. He's doing the draw for the novice final. Next lot of shearers take the board, please. Heat number 5.
In the World Wide Web, it's back here at the 2015 Golden Shears, and our special guest in the next few moments is Mavis Mullins, and Mavis has had her time as the president, first female president of the Golden Shears Society. And Mavis, welcome along to our little studio that we've rigged up here, and we're now streaming live to all the people out there in the world. We had a young girl win the Wool Systems Novice Trophy and ribbons this afternoon, and she came from Bigger in Scotland. That was great, and she was able to text into her parents over there 12,000 miles away and say, hey, look, I've got this red ribbon. So how's the Golden Shears shaping up for you?
Wow, what a huge crowd on the first day Thursday. But first of all, yeah, well done to our little Scottish lass, and to all those of you in Scotland, fantastic, and what an honour to have her here. But no, it's all looking good, Puro.
Okay. And the highlight was having the Minister of Primary Industries, New Zealand's Agricultural Minister here, Mr. Nathan, or Honourable Nathan Guy, giving us a visit and gracing us with his presence.
Yeah, that was very cool. I mean, he is absolutely committed to the primary sector for New Zealand. Talks about doubling our export growth by 2025, and what does that mean? And so he's been very clear that the red meat and wool industry factor into that really well. So no, it was very cool.
Mavis, he talked about wool being of $700 million to our New Zealand economy, so that's significant, isn't it?
That's pretty handy. We'd be stuffed without that 700 million, I'm sure.
Hey, well, it's 30 degrees here in our studio here in Masterton, and look, it's time we go back to the shearing, so thank you very much for your time, and we'll go back to our shearing board.
Aye, kia ora.
Kia ora. Thank you, David.
Danny Burke on stand number 6. I just about have to put my glasses on to read that far. These fellas are starting to look a long way away now. I've been coming here, but I just can't keep away. Look at the beautiful style they got. Look at the sportsmanship they show. The efforts they put in up here on stage among these glaring lights and those tenacious judges with their little wands they got in their hand, and they can just cut you to bits by a flick of the button. Oh, it hurts. And out the back there's another group of judges just waiting to pounce on you again. Why do you do it, shearers? You do it because you want to improve yourself. You want to go to the top. And here at Masterton 2015 is your opportunity. Let's make it happen for yourself. I'll help you along. Gerald will help you along. You've got 4 sheep to shear and you're almost done your first one, Gerald. And they're doing it nicely.
They are. They're making a very good, clean job. No razzle dazzle here, no Hollywoods, okay, where they're sort of, you can tell when someone's shearing, you know, beyond their ability, where they get hyped up and a wee bit carried away. And this is only sheep 1, which is a good sign. That's a little beauty that Welshman's putting out. Look at that, that's as clean as a little whistle. Number 1 out of the way. Let's have a look. What was the running time? 1 minute 50. So that's all good. Yeah, you can notice it sometimes where they get overawed by the situation and the Golden Shears and the lights and the likes, and they just get a wee bit, try to shear quicker than they actually can. But it's all good up there. There's just stuff going on all over the place. There's another heat, rolls up, ready to compete against their mates. And it's a bit like a rugby game in a way, when the shearing game or the shearing day's on, we just hook into it and do our thing. And when she's all over and we've got a winner at the end of the day, well, then we go and celebrate and tell some stories and have a beer and a good old time. Mainland, stand 2, up and round, starting to get that sheep, starting to line it up. He's just got to clean off that first front shoulder. What you can do in there, the blade, that shoulder blade, if you grab hold of that front leg, ladies and gentlemen, all these sneaky little things you can learn from some of these experts that go around teaching this sort of stuff. You grab the leg and you twist the leg and it turns the shoulder blade in and it goes all nice and flat. But if no one tells you that, then you don't know, and then you've got to start trying to work you around that. So these are the sorts of things they can learn by these companies when they go to advanced shearing courses. They say, just turn your leg, turn it, twist it. Oh, okay, that gets rid of the shoulder blade. Yes, it does. You can just fire a full shot in there now. That's how it's done. Those are all the sorts of things they learn, and they learn it from classes, they learn it from their mates, they learn it from the master shearers. As I said, there's been a lot of top wool handlers, a lot of top open shearers that have been here watching all the novice shearers, the junior shearers, the intermediate shearers, the novice wool handlers, just to see how they're getting on, whether they want a bit of encouragement or a bit of advice. So it's a great thing to see, John, when those older, more established wool handlers and shearers take part like that. It's a great thing to see.
Shearing the love, they call it, shearing the love. Sarah Higgins, are you in the stadium? Please come and see Alan Precious. You are shearing in that novice shearing final at the completion of his intermediate shear. So let's have you here, Sarah. Come and see Alan Precious here at the microphone table. Okay, back here live now. The Welshman on stands 1 and 3. Put a blanket over him, Dukes and Jones. Oh, they love it. First down, the off leg. Going back to 1984 when I went across and repaid some of the hospitality that I'd shown over here in years gone by. It's good to see the camaraderie of these Welsh and Scots shearers coming back over here, along with the English and the Irish and the Frenchmen and Italians and who else has rocked up here this year. It's good to see. We talk about it, we enjoy each other's company, and as you say, you get around the world, and it's good. They'll be all here socialising tonight at that speed shear. Up the neck and around the back of the head comes our Australian man, Rohan Slabert. Round the back now, just a little bit of trouble, bit of wool on the handpiece, can't quite see where the end of the comb is. Got it sorted, flicks the ear out of the way, round the back with a couple of shots. Moving that handpiece now, he just guides it round. Just talked about that re-grip of that front leg. Grab it a little bit lower. A lot of people hang on to it up between the first and second knuckle. Well, that's not going to work because you can't control it. You need to grab it down on that knuckle or even lower and twist it and pull it in hard, and it, as you say, just flattens that whole job out, and you can get the good shot in. Down the last side there on stand number 6, Sean Thurton. He's looking pretty sharp. His scores are looking pretty good. The judges outside like him. He'll be starting to smile to himself. I'm on fire. Down and out to the flank, as long as Cahill as well. Beautiful stuff, Gerald, all the way.
Yes, you could chuck a blanket over them all, apart from Mainland, who's out the front at the moment on stand 2 as far as the speed goes. Once again, a wee reminder, there is 3 aspects to this, but at the moment we like to hype it up because it's add a wee bit of flavour to it. Can become a wee bit monotonous, a wee bit boring if there's no noise, a bit of action going on. And that's what we're here to do. So we like to add a little bit of the old commentary in there. But Mainland, up and round the years he's been, starting to line up the long blow now. And he does so. Paul Duke right in front of him. And they're all still exactly the same. They're as tight as an all black forward pack, so they are. The flanker at this stage, the breakaways, Mainland. Turns to the last side, brushes the cheek wall, 1, 2, push the head down. That would have saved you a good old shot, but they'll teach you that very soon as well. Cleans up that shoulder, lifts the leg, loosens it up, works that left hand, pulls the skin nice and clean as he would, and on the journey home he goes, the money side. What's the running time, ladies and gentlemen? 7 minutes right now. Right out to the toenails he goes. The rest of them hit the long blow, but the finishing touches are getting done. Jaden Mainland, red button time. The rest, what's going on? The lead goes over for Elgin Jones. Oh, look at that style. That's a beautiful style, just floating around it. What do I mean by floating, ladies and gentlemen? The different styles of holding onto your handpiece. Some people will literally drive the wool off. That's their personality and the way they do it. But not Elgin Jones. He floats it round. He carries the handpiece just touching the skin to cut the friction down. His return shot's nice and flat. Now that cuts down a few risks of entering and getting caught up with the skin, and it's the shortest route back, and he does a good job as that as well, as a whole lot of them are heading in for the red button. It's a mighty heat. Elgin's wrapped up. Paul Duke from Wales also finishing touches there. Give them a round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. That's a super heat.
the 5 shearers this time round. Things are all starting to warm up here. Hey, it's gone way past 12 o'clock, but as per usual, 4 to 6 o'clock is some of the times the hottest part of the day. A little bit of juice running down the back of a lot of people here that are working hard in the stadium. And we've got a green light. Gentlemen, can we have you on the board, please? I just love that green light, that Irish light that's up there. Lance Waddell and his team. Marvellous. Thank you, gentlemen. Stand number 4. Pull him out. Pull him out of there. Timekeepers are good. Judges. Competitors, go! Ooh, back into the pen they go. Marley Waihappy. From Matara in the deep south. Nick Greaves from England. Just up the road in Pahia too is Ben Lilly. Further down, across behind us in Featherston is Andrew Hemme and Michael Hemme on the bottom end. Also from the same stable. Couple of bit more local lads, either side of there. 5 and 4 and 5. All these people around taking selfies with their cameras, by crikey, just as well as no big flash, we'll be getting archive, eh? Good to record the magic moment, so isn't it, as we rock on here in the 2015 Trust House Community Enterprises Intermediate Shearing Competition. Elimination round 1. Heat number 6. Up the neck and around the back of the head. 7.5 minutes, need to get it done by, guys. The pressure's on. There'll be 3 more heats after, or 2 more heats after this, and then we'll move on to that novice shearing final. Into the long blow they rock here on stands 1, 2, 3. Off the long blow for 4. Off the long blow for 5. The brothers are coming at them down there on stands 5 and 6. Stands 4 and 5. Across the shoulder and down and out to the flank. Pushing that left hand, moving it across nicely. Yes, Alan, we found Sarah for you. It's all under control. Out the last leg now for Andrew Hemme, doing it good. Oh, the old brother says, leave me behind at your peril, boy. Oh, I've got one that's kicking a little bit. Oh, I'm going to get this last leg off in just a minute. Come on. Wait for me, bro. In they go, Gerald. That's starting to need to pick the pace up a little bit.
A bit of family rivalry there, all right. Story is the shearer must get the sheep unassisted down the porthole. He's been there and done that now and got the t-shirt. He looks over at the other brother and says, by jolly, you got the belly clear and you're starting to head down towards the fertiliser works and the gear is going well. See that? He fires 3 big undermines in. Takes the top knot off. Watch those. Don't see that big gap he's got in the back there, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Hemme. That's going to make a very, very quick last side. It's going to be a super duper last side. No one's going to touch him on this one, I can tell you that. That gear's going well as he just slowly goes round. The crowd start to get into it too now, John, which is good to see. Bit of yelling going on. Come on, Michael. You can catch your brother. Come on, Andrew. What's happening down here? How's the English boy, Nick Greaves, going? Up the neck he goes. He's been around a lot of shows this year. He's been here before. What's happening down on stand 1? Well, Marley Waihappy all the way from Matara. He didn't come all the way from Matara right down on the bottom coast for no reason at all. There's a lot of expense involved there, but that means nothing because you've got to really go for it. If you're hungry for a Golden Shears title, you've got to get on a plane, you've got to hire a car, you've got to get a motel, and you've got to get here and you've got to perform. And that's young Marley. That's where he's come from. So he no holds barred for him. Another youngster who started shearing sheep, or competition sheep for that matter as well, while he was still at school. Very, very young fella. Away he goes on the long blow. A good little shearer. Got hold of the wool on the side of the cheek. You just sit there, little honey. You've got a little bit of work to do. Brushes 1, 2, push down on that head. That's the idea. Goes back for a little bit. He's got a short little last side. He put in a super duper long blow. firing those shots in, giving him a little bit of exposure as I would, because he's sort of a local lad as far as I'm concerned from down my neck of the woods. Talking about my neck of the woods, England, it's not a place I've shown. I've been there a few times, but look how pink that is. They learn and they've got to learn. Oh, that was a little pink one. Beautiful. You could tell very simply from here that Greaves had made a sensational job of that. Lily from Pioneer Tour. Yeah, we know you're there, Ben. You get into it, mate. Into the belly wall. He goes in number 3. Hemi on 2. I don't think those counters are right, eh? There it is. There it pops up now. I was going to say he's actually on sheep 3. Rolls the leg over. Starts rolling the sheep towards him. From here, folks, the trick is don't shuffle your feet too much. Get that left hand, get hold of that skin and bring the sheep to you. And that's what young Andrew Hemi does. Put the weight in there, roll the hip over. Hey, you come to me. I'm not going to shuffle back any further. You're going to slide away. Oh, John, are we still just in the heats of the intermediate, you think?
Oh, the pressure's on, eh? It's still there. 2 heats to go. A little bit of juice starting to come off the brow now of Nick Greaves. It's concentration. Look at the eyes following the handpiece. Going back right to the start with every shot. So he lays it in flat across the carcass. Here comes Wairarapa. We talked about how far he's come, but he hasn't come as far as Nick Greaves to share in this Golden Shears here, 2015, all the way from England. And he's making every post a winning post, because battling it out blow for blow, stands 1 and 2. There we go, down there the pace from Andrew Hemi though, round the back of the head. Michael Hemi steps into the pen, just a few blows back. Oh, half a sheep maybe from Bro. Keep the pressure on. Oh, a live wire. Come dance with me all around the town, this woman says. Let me get your clothes off first, said the shearer, and we'll make you dance down the street here, Wairarapa. There's been sheep down the street before. Another one down the hole there for our man from Pioneer Tour. 4 sheep coming out, 4 coming out for England. But coming across the shoulder, Andrew Hemi, pressure on now. Just check that tally there on Andrew Hemi's. I think he's away one more than that. Oh, he comes out the last leg, down the first off leg for Marley Wairarapa. Nick Greaves from England. Down the belly he goes, Ben Lilly. He's finished the touch. I reckon he was more than done. The counter didn't keep up. Either that or one jumped out. Hey, he's got it done though, and we'll be on to the next heat before you know it. 6 minutes and 49 seconds gone, so that was a pretty sharp time for this heat, by golly. These shearers are not supposed to be shearing any more than 285 sheep. That's adult sheep in an 8-hour day. Hey, they don't really talk about 9-hour days anymore. Down the belly he goes, a dirty word. He's finished. You've got to do that 9-hour day. That means you've got to be in the shed for about 13. And that makes the farmer grumpy, because he's got to get up early in the morning. His wife's got to cook your breakfast. And then you've got to get more sheep in. And of course, with the advent of covered yards these days, you get longer days at the job because you're not having to knock off because of wet weather. So we use the old 8-hour performance. Some even just shear 7.5. If you can't do enough in 7.5, you'll just have to go faster tomorrow. Down and out to the flank. Out the last leg. I was always a bit of a slow starter in the morning until I worked out that if I did go hard on the first run, it would make the tally at the end of the day look a lot better. So this is what these young fellas are doing here today. They've gone hard on the first 4 sheep. They're hoping they can make that next run, which is the semi-final later on tomorrow. Out the last leg. Here we go. Don't know what time it'll be tomorrow, but it'll be after we start, something like that. There goes Nick Greaves finishing touches. Oh, pretty handy sort of a board up there, by golly. 1.5 and a 0.4, a 4 out the back. Nothing too much wrong with that. So they'll move off to the right.
Welcome to the Pleasure Dome here at the 2015 Golden Shears, and we've started today with a hiss and a roar, and the weather has gotten really nice. Kieran McAnulty, the TAB Do you call the shots on the odds and things like that? But I'll get Kieran to introduce himself.
Yeah, well, I guess you could say I'm the world's only shearing bookmaker. The TAB is the only outfit that places bets or offers bets on the Golden Shears when shearing in general. But I'm also very proud to say that I've been given the honour of being the MC of the Golden Shears as well. So there's a bit of juggling of the old hats, but it seems to work out all right.
Cool, Kieran. Well, it's only fitting we bring in the past president of the Golden Shears, and we have had a talk with the current one, Mr. Philip Morrison. But Kieran, we're coming to the end of a phenomenal athlete, a guy named David Fagan, 33 or so years inside shearing competitions. He's made the Golden Shears virtually his own, and he's signalled that this is his last year. And you guys are doing something very special for David Fagan, aren't you?
Yeah, we consider ourselves a bit of a New Zealand icon, so we're acknowledging the efforts of another, and so we're offering what is called a money back special on all losing bets on the Golden Shears winner book if David Fagan wins. So if David Fagan wins, we'll refund all losing bets, and that's just our way of acknowledging the efforts that he's done in shearing over the years, but in particular the Golden Shears, and winning 16 times is no mean feat, is it? And he's almost, because of David Fagan, the Golden Shears, the image and the brand of it has built on top of itself once again. So we acknowledge David and his efforts through that, and hopefully, and from punter's perspective, he wins, and all those who backed him win money, and those who didn't get their money back.
Well, it sounds to me like a lose-lose situation for the TAB.
We see it as just something that we wanted to do for David's and for the Golden Shears. So there are many other options where hopefully it'll be a win-win for the TAB. So hopefully we'll even at the end of the day.
Well, Kieran, I think on behalf of the Golden Shears and you are our MC and the TAB, wonderful what you're doing for Shearing Sports New Zealand. And let's go to the Woolhandling. Who's our top ranked Woolhandler? Open class.
Well, Joe Hanato, of course, is the favourite. He's won it the last couple of years and has always been there or thereabouts. He's paying $1.75, but you've got other names like Kieran Herbert and Sheree Alabaster as well. Can't be overlooked. So I know we've taken a lot of money on those two competitors as well. So just because Joel's the favourite doesn't mean he's going to do it.
No, you've got some of these young South Islanders too that have been a little bit under the radar in the north, like Nadia Morel. She's been doing extremely well, Tia Portai, so there's a few others out there.
That's right. And I've heard from some rumours floating around that some people think there might be some value in some of those outsiders as well, thinking that the price might be high enough just to have a crack and possibly win some money. So hopefully that's the case for punters.
Yeah, sounds exciting.
Well, hey guys, look, it's 29 degrees outside and it's 49 degrees in our studio.
Yeah, sure.
So we're going to go back to Toby and the World Wide Web, but I think it's important that we sit down again probably halfway through tomorrow and sum up how things are sitting for David Fagan's swan song year. So Kieran and Mavis, cheers.
See you then.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Ryland Jackson are also from Gisborne on stand number 5. So we're away, we're working hard as they got up the time. They knew that was a sharper time last time, and that heat number 6 was just a shade over 6.5 minutes. So they're really starting to push it along now. These guys have been keen as mustard. They probably entered 12 months ago, really keen to get their money forward, so they get into these later heats. The earlier you enter, the more chance you got of shearing in the later heats in the day, and that's the way it goes. Into the long blow, they pretty much go with a blanket over him, Gerald. They're loving every moment of it. Hey, but it could be Khaled Foot there on the middle stand, stand number 3. If the sheep would sit still and let him get around onto that last side.
He wants to brush that wool off, and he's got it sorted now. He's a big, strong fellow in the middle there too. Talking about being involved with committees, the reason we give you these people that enter early a little wee bonus to be one of the late ones to shear is because they commit to your show, and it makes the running of a show as far as the committee goes a whole lot easier when we know who's going to turn up and the numbers and the likes. So it's really appreciated from all wool handlers and shearers and pressers and everyone along those lines. Commit to the show, get your money paid, get entered. That way we can run a show that's on time and efficient and all those sorts of things. And it just makes our job a whole lot easier being involved in running of shows around New Zealand. Right, back on the board, Miss Ford. Number 2 arrives out. Fault. Into the belly wall he goes. Big, tall fella. Swinging the arm. Raymond Smith from Gisborne. Up and down in that belly and gets it nice and clean. Flicks it out the back to the wall handler. It's then put in the appropriate fadge. Lots of things going on here. These fadges coming and going. There's a press hidden somewhere around here. That's getting all the wool pressed up for these farmers. Brunton from Leven. Down to the fertiliser works. Lies that sheep over beautifully, so he does, and fires 3 big shots in there. Takes the old sun hat off now. Mackenzie down on the front stand. He's firing some big, beautiful shots in there too. They are super duper intermediate shearers, I can tell you that. We're going to have some great semis. We're going to have some great finals. There is not many people around the world that have a red ribbon from the Golden Shears. It takes a lot of securing and a lot of hard work and maybe a little bit of luck sometimes, and you need that in life and you need it in business and you need it at the Golden Shears. On to the long blow. Stands a 5 and 4 down there. Smith. Beautiful. Look at those shots going in there. Just a little bit of half combing. You can do that. He just knows that sheep want to do a bit of wriggling. He thought, I'll just do a little bit of half combing here. I'll cut the risk down of making a second cut. And she still wants to do a little bit of hijinks, going for a little bit of a dance, as John would say. But he's got it settled now. He'll be putting a bit of pressure on with those knees to say, girlie, have a little think about this just for a wee minute while I get this last little half done. On to the money side he goes now. Those big swooping shots right out the toenails. 1, 2 wee short ones. Now he's away. Clears the flank right out to the toenails. But stand 3. Those big swooping arms of his, he's really rolled that sheep towards him and he's done a tremendous job. Flicks it out the back. The judges will be the next one to see that one down below. And then he'll be on the truck and away back to the farmer, back in the paddock. Back down on the front stand, the Welshmen. How many Welshmen have we got here today? We've got enough for a cricket team. We've got enough for a rugby team, I'd say. Finishing touches, a little bit of rugby going on there. James Mackenzie whips that little second cut off. Thought, well, what will I do? Let the judges see it outside, or will I take it here? And he's decided to take it here. He could have left that on and it'll be just judged outside as a ridge. Okay, that's how it would be done. It would be done on the size of a credit card size. How big they might think and how many points he may lose. But he whipped it off in here. He wanted to send the sheep looking really nice. Tell the judges out the back. Foot. Thumb in the air, up and round the back of the head he goes. Smith's up the neck and the top knot comes off from Jackson down in Gibson, or from Gisborne down the stand 5. Opens the neck up, doesn't worry about breaking it clear. He says, I've shorn enough sheep even though I'm an intermediate shearer to shear underneath the wall. I don't need to see where I'm going all the time. I've done this enough times in and around the sheds. Starting to work his way round towards a long blow. How are the sheep numbers? You could just about chuck a blanket over these ones too, John. They got 1 left standing in the pen. On to sheep 3. Once again, great jobs.
Certainly are. I just quite wonder where Mackenzie comes in Wales. It's not the sort of name you associate with a Welshman. I think he might have jumped across the border, this young fella, to escape the swords of the marauding Scotsmen up north. Look at him go. He's up the long blow now. He's got a sheep of a little bit smaller stature now. Can he make the most of it and gain a bit at a time, because he's a little bit back off the 8 ball, coming onto the last side. Out the last leg comes the Glen Murray man, Caleb Foot. Down the portal with that one, sheep number 4, but he says, I want to change a blade. Wasn't quite happy enough with that. Ramon Smith out the last leg for him, under the shoulder and down and out to the flank on stand number 5. Goes Ryland. Come on, Ryland. Stroke it off, mate. Choke that comb. All the way from Gisborne. You can't leave anything back in the wallet today. You got to open it out and let the moss fly out. Come on, choke that in. Let it out the portal. Too many blows. Got to catch up some time because time is precious as well. The more sheep you shear, the more the time points count. In they go. Sheep number 4 comes out for the Welshman, Mackenzie. From Brunton, brings it out. He's a big strong shearer from Levin. Round the back of the head, down towards that difficult part of the sheep comes Caleb Foot. Look at him go. Sheep moving on top of like a half a metre circle underneath it. You'll notice all the good shearers. You can draw a circle on the board and they will shear within that circle, and the circle will only have to be 500 mils across. That's where they will shear the majority of their sheep. And at the end of the day, that piece of shearing board will be polished and clean with a little bit of dust and dirt and grind and a little bit of grease chucked in it as well. And it'll certainly show you where these top class shearers will have shorn 99% of their sheep. Anything can happen up here though, because the pressure's on. The pressure's on from the sheep. Pressure's on from the judges. The farmer wants a top-notch job. He's put up the great line of sheep and he's loving it. Look at it, he'll be here somewhere in the audience just enjoying the occasion. Into the long blow now they come. Brunton finishing touches. Button's been hit there on stand number 3 for Caleb Foot, and he's got the old flashing lights. Oh, he's under the flashing lights the first time here in Masterton. Oh, crikey, what's wrong? I can't see my score. What went wrong? 42, do you believe it or not? Hey, it's only the blue score. Don't worry about it. We still haven't judged all your sheep. Out the last leg comes Ramon Smith now. He's not too far away from the button as well. James Mackenzie. A little few more blows back as Jacob Brunton. From just up the way or down across the way in Levin. Out the last leg comes Jackson. He close on stands 1 as well. Oh, Mackenzie just beats him. Brunton, 2 blows to go. And what heat we done now? We must be on heat number 8 coming up. All those shearers be ready for the 8th and final heat. Is that correct, Rick?
During that novice shearing, you want to win the first shearing. How's it going to do? We'll stay up here for an extra prize giving. And before they start,
So this is the last chance of any shearers in the intermediate class to make it happen for themselves. And we're reaching for the green light. We got all the shearers on the board. They want to get active. We got the green light. We got the thumbs up from the referee. Okay. Everybody happy? Timekeepers good. Judges, competitors, go. In they go. For the 8th and final time, some of these guys down on stand number 6 from Australia. Mark Weiss. He was just having a bit of a chat before. He thought he had missed out, but here he is on the back mark. Got all the pressure heaped on him at the moment. Yeah, on stand number 5, Hugh DeLacy. I wonder if it's the son of a gun, Hugh DeLacy, who was around a few years ago. Could well be. Trevor Wilson from Northern Ireland on stand number 4. Lewis Pincroll from Chile on stand number 3. From Matri, Michael Hurley. And Stefan van Oosterskort from Narawahia. So look at them, they're into the long blow, nothing in it at the moment. Oh, Delaney's into the long blow, rocking along the cover up with the Australian down the far end is hanging in there. Michael Hurley, he was having a go in the pressing earlier on. Trevor Wilson from Northern Ireland. He'll be hoping his glasses don't steam up because it's jolly warm up there at the moment. The Australian last side coming in as he lifts that leg well up and down and out to the flank. Oh, the crossbred didn't like that. He pops the head forward and down and out the last leg. Across the last leg and floating easily is Narawahia. Come on, Stefan, he's about to bounce into the pen. 1 minute 51 gone. A little bit slower the time. Michael Hurley, he steps in now. They'll all start to float a little bit better this time round. Second sheep, the nerves are gone. It's come out with vengeance. Give it your best shot. This is the last chance any of these 6 shearers have got. The only chance some of them may have. We'll be looking for the semi-finals tomorrow. Towards the long blow now. They will be starting to move as they come up over the top. The Northern Ireland man, Trevor Wilson, steps forward. Big strong arms and he holds the head nicely. Now uses the wrist and holds the cups the ear and moves his legs slightly, his knees and toes working as he drops into the offside, the most difficult part of the sheep. Cleans off that shoulder blade, down into the long blow. 5 good shots, one over the backbone. Is he going to make it count? Yes, he's got it over there now. Nice and flat by the look of it. Across the shoulder of the money side of the sheep. Rocks on. Is anybody going to go with him? Narawahi is Stefan up here in the front. Looks like he might be Michael Hurley. He's trying hard as well, Gerald. They're working away at sheep number 2.
Yeah, the last and final heat here for these intermediates, and it's been super all the way from woe to go. But it is the Northern Ireland man, and it's a little pinky. It's great with all this tremendous lighting they've got up here because you can get a good view from a distance, and that helps the audience as well as commentators like us to give you some insight of, hey, yeah, they're a real clean sheep, and that was a super clean one by Trevor Wilson there in the middle one that he stuck out. Hurley. He's putting out a little pink 1-2. See that, ladies and gentlemen? You think you're going to see any ridges on that one when it's outside? No, I don't think so. And in he goes and pulls out sheep 3 as well. Michael Hurley. Into the belly while he goes. He tucks that leg in. Fires 1, 2, 3. Cleans up the brisket correctly. He doesn't want to lose points for that because you're going to take the whole belly and all the belly. You can't go shortcutting there. Otherwise it gives it a chance for the belly will end up in the main line, and we can't have that. It must come off, and the board judges will bomb you for that or give you points for it, as in points you don't want. Off for the top knot. Stefan up and round the back of the head he goes. On a hot sunny day like this, you think these good stropping ewes will be keen to lose their feathers to cool off. Down towards the fertiliser works goes Lewis Pincroll from Chile. Not very often you see shearers from Chile, but there is sheep all round the world. Off for the top knot, up the neck he goes, that vital part where you can't see your comb or your cutter, and you've got all these things going through your mind that what may happen underneath that as you fire a big heavy shot up the neck. But the man in the middle, he's on the journey home. One left standing in the pen. What's happening away down the bottom there? He's toiling away. Mark on the bottom stand. Got the head going, got the hand going, flicking the wool clear. Right out to the toenails he goes. Hand onto the old kitchen pen door. In and out he goes. He's now the rabbit of the field, ladies and gentlemen. All the way from Australia. Arrived up here and said, oh, hey, I haven't made it in here. We said, we'll make room for you. Let's put you up there and stand 6. And so he is. The belly wall's clear. He'll be hoping to make the cut, of course. Stefan flicks his leg out of the way and down onto the first hind leg now. Down towards the tail. Undermine time. You gotta get this right, ladies and gentlemen. He fires 2 big shots up on the front stand. Trevor Wilson. He's got a little beauty. Look at the size of this guy. He's dwarfing that sheep. He's got it tucked in right in around those legs, around his own crutch area. Now off with the top knot. Pincoal lies that one down nice and flat, and Michael Hurley's onto the last one. He's been chasing a lot of shows all round the place, doing what's required. He thinks, I'm not going to get tangled up with the commentary. I've got a job to do. I've got a plan. And it's not to get too excited and too overawed by the situation. Up the next stand 5, flicks it clear. Wilson hits the long blow. On the journey home, Stefan on stand 1. Mark pulls the leg nice and high on the bottom stand. Stand 6, flicks the leg over. Coming home quickly, but it's Stefan's the first one in for the red clock. That stops the clock there. Mark all the way from Australia's in for the red clock as well. Bit of jiggling going on there for DeLacy. That's not part of his plan either. That's not even plan A, B or C. It's a way down the list when we're starting to get a bit of a kicker. There's only 4 of them and you want 4 little beauties. Cheek wool's gone now. Onto the shoulder. Wilson's wrapped up. Pinnacle's leg over, locks it up. Hurley's on the journey home and he wants to do a bit of dancing as well. He's putting a bit of weight on that front leg. That's a great tactic, that one. That will settle them down. As it settles, you quickly go into that little flank area like he has and put a heap of weight in there and bring it towards you. He's done a tremendous job at that. Got home nice and quick. That could have turned real bad. That was real good skill. DeLacy does the same. And the man from Chile. The finishing touches. Ladies and gentlemen, worked through 9 heats of intermediate shearers. The finishing touches are getting done to the last and final one to go down the porthole. Give this heat and all the rest a mighty round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen.
And just as they go off, you can see those yellow scores coming up now. That's having all the sheep judged out the back. So Mark on stand number 6 at a 42.7. Trevor Wilson a 38.6. 28 and a 28 and a half up there for stands 1 and 2. So you'll just keep an eye on those scores and remember how the rest of the shearers have gone, and you'll have a rough idea who's actually made it through to the next round. And that's what it's all about, making it through to the next round. Just going that one step further. Righto, Rick, what have we got up next?
Just good wants us to put them all up there and get themselves organised.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the almost to the end of our afternoon session for Thursday at the 2015 Golden Shears. Our last shearing event is a final for our novice shearers, and we'd invite them up here in front of the announcer's desk now, please. Our novice finalists, if they could come up here in front of the announcer's desk. That's Ty Watty, Sarah Higgins, Bailey Rush, Sarah Edmonds, Cody Gregg, Ruben Alabaster. Those shearers. 2 competition sheep to shear, ladies and gentlemen, for this final.
Just a quick change over here of the fedges. It's like clockwork, isn't it, up on this board, and there's a fair bit going on, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of wool getting shifted around here. There are a couple of presses out the back pressing all this up. We okay to go, Alan? We good to go? Good. Okay, make your way up, please, novice shearers, and take your stands. You'll see your name there, and get all your hand pieces organised and the likes, and then we'll introduce you all for this big final. So when you're ready to go, just turn and face the audience, and we'll go along the line and give you the introduction of who you are, and we'll get you started into these two sheep. So take a deep breath.